Okay, we're going to be going over what you are responsible for next week while you're at home. First and foremost, you have 1 week to complete all of this. So if it feels like a lot, it's going to be your job to figure out how you want to split it up between tomorrow, Friday, and next Thursday when you come back after conferences. First and foremost, the most important thing you're going to be doing is putting your research paper package together, okay? So in order to do that, the first thing you need to do is double check all your documents for spelling and spacing. All of your documents ranging from your topic outline, your sentence outline, your research paper, okay? Also, you will be creating your bibliography. So you have an extra box here for your homework that you wrote down. You're going to be creating your bibliography, and I recommend using ezbib.com. Raise your hand if when you were in, I think it's ezbib.com or .org, double check it. I know it's ezbib. Raise your hand if you've used ezbib in 5th grade when you did your state report or some other time. You already have your bibliography cards that we created first, so all you have to do is put in your information and it'll actually create the bibliography for you, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is double check everything for spelling and spacing. So you're only ready to assemble your package when your essay is completely proofread, okay? So that's why in class today we have our to-do list, and the very first thing is making sure that we're done editing and revising. You should at this point have had your teacher conference, a parent conference, a conference with yourself, and a conference with a peer. So you should have had at least 4 sets of eyes looking at your essay. Okay, so you should be in a position where you're just about ready to assemble your package. When you're ready to assemble your package, this is the order. You're going to have your cover page, okay? That's number 2 on your list for today. For your cover page, you're going to create a Google Doc, and in the center, you're going to put the name of your country, okay? That can be nice and big. Then, underneath it centered, you're going to have your first and last name, Jane Smith. Then you're going to have your number and your track, Language Arts, and the date is May 29th, 2015. Why? Because that's International Day, and that's the culminating day. Everything is due. That's when I'll be taking everything home and giving you your final grade, including your grade on your presentation for your International Day booth, okay? So your cover page you'll be working on in class today, that goes on top when you're assembling your package. Once you finish your cover page, you're going to be creating your table of contents. Who can tell me, what does the table of contents tell us? Kennedy?
Where everything is.
Yeah, so you're going to create a table of contents that shows this order, okay? And your table of contents is going to go second. Then you're going to put your topic outline. Behind your topic outline, you're going to put your sentence outline. Then you're going to print your actual essay, put that, and then finally you'll put your bibliography. Some people also call their bibliography a works cited. As you go through middle school and high school, you'll learn what the differences are between the two. You can call it a works cited or a bibliography. I don't have a preference. And then lastly, all of your conferencing sheets. It is a part of your grade. So you need to have my conferencing sheet, your parent, and your self and peer editing checklist all attached. So all of these things need to get printed, and you will assemble your final package and staple in the left-hand corner. I would not print these documents until you're 100% sure that you're satisfied, okay? Because it's a lot of paper and your parents are not going to want to print 20 pages over and over if you realize you spelled something wrong. If you realize there's a little mistake, you can put a little bit of white out and fix it. Now, here's what I would do for the table of contents. I would print everything out. I would have your table of contents with the order typed up, okay? So for example, for your table of contents, this is my table. I'm just going to put TOC. That stands for table of contents. Okay? The very first thing on my table of contents, well, what comes right behind my table of contents? I have my topic outline. So I'm going to have cover page, and then it's going to say number 1, because that's the very first thing. Then table of contents, you're going to actually spell out table of contents, number 2. Topic outline is going to be on page 3, but sentence outline is not going to be on page 4. It's going to be on whatever page your sentence outline starts, maybe 5 or 6. So what most students have found helpful is to type their table of contents and put all of these things on it, and then after they print everything out, number their pages in the bottom right corner, and then in pen or pencil, write in the numbers on the table of contents. So it's okay if you type everything out and then print everything, count up all your pages, number them, and then fill out the table of contents numbers. Does that make sense? Okay, because it's going to be too hard for you to do it until you have all of your papers. It's going to be a nice thick book. Does that make sense? Does anyone need me to repeat the table of contents again? Okay. All right. So we've double checked everything. We've printed everything. It's assembled. We staple it. Okay. On Thursday, I will be collecting your final package. Okay. Your final package does not have your timeline. Your final package does not, it's not going to have your picture page I'm going to talk about in a minute. All it has are these documents right here. All of the extra things will go on your International Day booth. Okay, so the next thing you're going to be doing is creating a map of your country. What needs to go on your map? Every country is different. You're going to be putting important major cities on your map. You're going to be putting important mountain ranges, bodies of water, things that are important that whoever visits your booth knows about your country, you'll put on your map. You need at least 10 different items on your map, and it should involve color. You can use whatever kind of paper you want. You can take computer paper from me today, or you can use, if you have construction paper you want to use at home and get creative, you can. What you cannot do is go on the computer and print out a map. Can you trace it? Absolutely. That's what I would do if I were in school. I would have a real hard time freehanding it. Okay? So one of your assignments, which you can start on today if you get to it, is to create your map. Yes?
What format should the map be? Should it be like an actual map with the routes and stuff?
So map, think about if I'm a tourist coming up to look at your map, I want to see major cities, important features. So not like driving routes. You don't need to show me like highways in your city. Think major points. City capitals, where governments happen, major bodies of water, oceans that surround your country. Think similar to your history of the world maps or story of the world maps that you guys have to label. Those are pretty basic. You don't need to spend too much time making fine details. For example, I would not, if I was making a map of California, probably show you where Oceanside is on that map. I would show major cities like Sacramento, San Francisco, Los Angeles, that kind of thing. Okay? And we went over creating your bibliography. So in class today, you're going to be working on your picture page. If you don't finish that today, it's going to be homework. Your picture page, basically, you need to have 8 to 10 pictures that will be on your booth showing important, interesting things from your country. Now, many students create this in Google Docs and will drag 3 or 4 pictures per page and then you print it out. It does need to be in color, so you need to plan ahead. Okay, your picture page will also be due next Thursday when you come to school. All right, so what I would do today in class is look on the computer for those pictures, create a Google Doc, put those pictures there, so then you can go home, tell mom or dad you have your picture page ready to print out. Now, very important, each picture must have a 1 to 2 sentence description of what it is. Why? Because in the past, when I don't say this, students will print out pictures, they may forget what it's called or what it is, and someone will come up to their booth and you'll be nervous, and they'll ask you what that is, and you'll tell them, I forgot. So if you have a sentence and someone comes up to you, worst case, you get super nervous, you can read right off your paper. 1 or 2 sentences. This is one of the most popular foods in India known as naan bread or whatever, okay? We went over our map. If you get to it today, you can start it. The last thing you're going to be working on at home. So homework really goes back and forth between both of these, okay? This left side is classwork, but you won't finish it all. So these go back and forth. International Day prep. Let's talk about International Day. You should, at this point, have something in your mind that you want to focus on at your booth. Your job, once you finish all of your package requirements, so we're probably talking Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, you're going to start writing your booth speech. So when someone comes up to you and you say, "Hi, my name is Riley Westmore. Today I'm going to tell you about the country of," and specifically, line dancing, or spices from my country, or the people of my country, or the culture in my country, or art in my country. You're going to write that speech. How long? 2 to 3 minutes. Okay? So next week, I really want you to focus on writing the speech and thinking about how are you going to make it hands-on. Nobody likes to just be spoken to. What are you going to show the person who comes up to your booth? Examples, some people will bring an iPad and make a Google presentation. What I tell you is you must bring the technology. Don't count on laptops being available. Okay, so if you need a speaker, bring a speaker. If you need an iPad, bring an iPad. If you want to make a trifold board, you can, but you don't have to. It can be whatever you want. Some people will dress up in character. I encourage, if you know how people dress in your country, do that. One of my students from Switzerland dressed up and coordinated with her partner from the other class, and it was amazing. So I encourage you to make it fun. This is meant to be a fun way to culminate what we've been working on. Okay, the last thing to start thinking about is a taste around the world. After International Day, we're going to have all the 6th graders go in the barn for a taste around the world, where you're going to bring in a dish from your country, okay? And you're going to get to sample it. So you don't have to select it now, but start thinking about it so that when we come back next week and the week after, you have some kind of an idea of what you want to do. Does it have to be a recipe that your mom or dad is slaving over? No. For example, Grace, someone brought hummus and pita bread. If you want to keep it simple, you can. If you want to explore and cook something that takes more time, you can. Yes.
So this is in a week from now?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of my stuff from Mexico is like beans and rice. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. So I want to review, before we end the video, of what you're coming to school next week with. You are coming with your final package printed out in this order. You are coming with your map done. Be sure to take home computer paper if you need it, or if you want to use your own paper, you can. Inside your final package, you have your bibliography, okay? Next week, you have your picture page done, all right? Your map is done, and you have started working on your International Day speech. Ideally, I'd like to give you time to start practicing them on each other next week. Are there any questions about what you're expected to bring next week? Sadie.
I actually have a different question, but like, are we gonna be with our partner like before the actual?
Starting probably not next week because we have SBAC testing, but the week after, you're going to be making your booth banner. So you and your partner are going to start designing it, and you're going to have a big banner that hangs down from your table that says your country's name, and it's painted. So you're going to start thinking about that design next week, and then meeting with your buddy from Miss Erickson's class the week after. So yes. Kennedy.
So are we having the same booth with the person from over there?
Yes, but different topics. So you'll be standing here, and your buddy will be standing here, and one of you will go first, the other one will go second, and you'll rotate. Okay? All right, Alexis.